We're going to be talking about outer hip pain. This is by special request with someone who has bursitis in the outer part of the hip. I felt that it was really appropriate for people with Parkinson's because it helps the joints remain limber. It can be better for you if you're having to take a quick step to the side and do a response type of step. And I think it's just really good for all of us to remain flexible and strong. The first move that we're going to do is the warm-up that you can do in bed that actually doesn't work on the hip joint. It works on the things around the hip joint. So what you're going to do is simply be laying in bed before you get up, and with no pillow, you're going to push one foot away from your body as you pull the other one toward your body, using your hips. So you push and pull, and you'll push and kind of pull. Just do this a few times. Do it for about 1 minute. You can see how slowly I'm doing this. And then you'll go ahead and hop on out of bed, and you're kind of warmed up. It really works on the lower back quite a bit. We're going to do 2 more stretches, and then we'll move to exercises. This stretch would be done after you've been doing some exercise, after you've been walking, after you've moved around and got your teeth brushed and things before you go to bed. This is the knee, almost the chest. And you can start with bent knees if you'd like. If you tend to be real non-flexible, an inflexible person as it were, and keep the knees bent, and you can draw this knee up toward your chest. If you have problems with your knees and they're swollen or they hurt, you can do it here. You have more control with this exercise here. If you can, straighten out the other leg. Lay your head back. I had my head up only so I could see my screen. And what you're going to do is pull slightly up, and you can hold it for about 30 seconds. Release just a little and drop the leg slightly outward till you can feel a stretch, until you feel that hip joint starting to work on that. Now I'm real flexible, so I'm going to be out here. Most people will be someplace in this area. And you can hold that for 20 to 30 seconds and bring it across here. Any discomfort, stop, back off, don't go so far, release this direction, whatever you need to, or just don't do the exercise if it's really uncomfortable. Look on the Facebook for the guide so you can see how long to hold each one of these little stretches. And remember, you're going to be doing both sides of your body. This next stretch is the really big stretch. I don't want you to do this stretch if there's pain. I want you to do the exercises instead, and then move to the big stretch after a few days of exercising. If you're a person who is not experiencing pain and you're a Parkinson's person, go ahead and try the big stretch and see how it works for you. But I'm again telling people, no pain because there's no gain with having pain on this one. Okay? This really big stretch is done having your knees bent. Your head will be back. Again, I'm watching to make sure that everything stays in the screen here for you. You're going to cross one leg over the other. Knees are both bent. You have one foot on the floor, one foot suspended on the one that's over. Now what you're going to do is just slowly drop toward the side. The foot is on the floor. So if you have your left leg locked over your right, you're going to take it to the right. And you're going to hold this stretch about a half a minute. Wherever you're comfortable. If you're comfortable here, hold it here. If you're comfortable just here, hold it here. But the more flexible you are in your waist, in your hips, the more you're going to see the drop come over. This stretch will stretch all the way down to the knee, up here, and up into the back. And that's why I call it the really big stretch. Remember, you're going to do both sides, and assess not just when you have finished with the exercise and stood up, but assess later in the day, and you'll be able to know whether you've gone too far with the stretch and to do it differently next time. See you with the exercises. So after you've warmed up by walking for 4 or 5 minutes, you can go ahead and you can start doing some of these exercises. I've put the screen up and something for me to hang on to. You're going to pretend like that's your counter to hang on to, but I need something for stability, and you probably will too. I did this so you could see a little bit better. So after your 5-minute warm-up, let's just do a step touch, because with this outer hip pain and trying to work these muscles here, we want to work the hip joint laterally. We're also going to be moving it within, but for right now you're going to do it laterally. And go to the Facebook so you can get the guide, and that'll tell you how much to do this little step touch. Then, after you've done your step touches, you're going to do a figure 8. Hold on to your counter or whatever it is you're hanging on to. And look forward, do a figure 8. Make sure that the feet are in front, or the foot is in front, and then goes to the back as you do your figure 8. And then go the other direction with your figure 8. It's going to be a little more difficult. The body naturally responds in one direction more than the other. And I'm going to recommend doing your figure 8s on both sides and then moving to the next exercise. But I don't have time to do that. I wish YouTube would let me do more. The squat swing is going to work on the hips. Again, the feet are apart. We're moving laterally. Do a squat. Move your hips to one side by straightening one knee and bending the other. Keeping in a squat, push the hip back and forth. Start way up here if that's where your comfort level is. Lower as you continue to move through the days doing this. Lower still if you can, and for those people with Parkinson's, this is a real good move. It's a control move that is creating a new synapse in your brain because you're working your body in a different manner than it's used to moving. Now we're going to do the Highland fling very easily, and of course it's not the hands up, it's the hands down that's important. Up. Reach forward, stand just slightly up, lean only a little bit forward as you reach toward the foot. If you can only go to here, do this. If you can only go to here, do this. But this is what we're trying to do because it's a real unnatural outer movement for that hip joint. After you've done a few, then what I want you to do is kick out side to side, laterally. So what we've done is we've taken those hips and we've kind of turned them in, then we've turned them out. This is one of my very favorite exercises. I do this before running a lot. Feet apart, knees bent, knees together. Hands on your knees, and around you go. I call this ski knees because it's a ski exercise. Now I'm going to go sideways for you here. Oops, in front of the screen. Okay? And around. I get to this point and I just kind of cross over. I don't bend backwards. I'm not going to go back. Well, I guess I do bend backwards, but when you get to this point, go across and around. Go both directions, of course. However many times you go in one, you go in the other. Feet apart, knees together, hands on your knees. Totally unfeminine. Well, but you guys, that's okay, isn't it? Okay, now, another really great one for the hips, the toe grinder. Grind out something on the ground. Squish a bug, mash out a spark. change to the heel grinder. Look what's happening here. Look what's happening here. That is so good. Between the knees, because that's at the end of this band, this muscle area right here, and then up here doing these grinds, that's really going to work the outer part of your hips. But once you get done, you're going to want to stretch. So for our stretch, what you're going to do is cross your feet in front and take your hand up and lean over. And you'll hold it like it says in your guide on Facebook. Then you're going to cross your heel back and go and lean over and show off the side that is coming out of the clothes and hold it for, I think that I have it at about 30 seconds on each one of those holds, and do it on both sides. If you have any questions, you can get hold of me through Facebook on messages. You can private message me, or you can go ahead and you can just put it on, because you don't have to be a friend on Facebook. I'm open to everybody. Thanks. See you later.